Hello, I am Devansh Fadia, currently pursuing the master's degree in construction engineering management at SAP University. My student code is PCM254009. Welcome to the presentation of the Executive Leadership Guest House project located in Shantigram at Ahmedabad. This project is planned as Greenfield Hospitality Development on 12,500 meter square plot located in Shantigram. The project follows an item rate contract and has a planned execution duration of 30 months. The proposed guest house consists of 570 rooms designed to meet the internal accommodation demand. The building includes the three basement levels and rises up to G plus 18 floors with a height of approximately 70 meters. Also, the building is constructed with the precast technology and the total project cost is around 468.98 CR. The total superstructure built up area is about 47,542 meters square and facilities included like a conference floors, service floors and multi-purpose halls and landscape podium. The project aimed to provide a three-star hospitality standard with an energy efficient and sustainable design approach. Location connectivity is strong with the nearest airport and railway station within 20 kilometers, making the site is easily accessible. In the location analysis, at the macro level, the site selected is a Shantivan colony located at Mudra. In the macro level evaluation, we compared the three potential sites Shantigram, Shantivan colony Mudra, and Charodi based on the factors like connectivity in terms of railway and airway, zoning, demand centers, economic growth potential, political stability, and noise and air quality. So after giving the ratings to each parameters and multiplied with the weightage, the Shantigram consistently performed the highest and receiving an overall weighted score of 4.8 out of 5. This is primary because of excellent connectivity, strategic land use, and strong economic surroundings. The other two shortlisted locations, Santivan Colony Mudra and the DTPS Charodi, performed reasonably but fell short due to the limitations in connectivity in terms of railway and airway and noise and air quality. Therefore, at the macro scale, the Shantigram clearly emerged as the more suitable option. At the micro level analysis, the selected site is Shantigram and Charodi, and in the micro level, the evaluation was further refined using parameters such as land cost, connectivity in terms of road use, infrastructure availability, topography, utility provision, permissible height, safety, and ease of construction, and also the heat island effect. Once again, the Shantigram performed the strongest with weighted score of 4.75 out of 5. The site benefits from stable ground conditions and ready infrastructure also. So the Shantivan colony scored moderately, but whereas the Charodi ranked lowest due to weaker construction feasibility and access constraints. After the comparing the both micro and macro findings, Shantiram was finalized as the optimal and most strategic project location. In the demand analysis, the assessment conducted using a data-driven approach. The methodology which is followed is identifying the relevant variables, collecting the data sets, running the regression analysis, and validating the forecasting outputs. The minimum number of require was determined as the dependent variables, and the key drives, which is my independent variables, included that the company's economic growth and employment expansion and the Gujarat GSDP growth. From the mapping, it became clear that the occupancy of this guest house is strongly dependent on the internal business factors rather than the external market fluctuations. This confirms that the demand will grow predictably as the organization scales. The first regression relation, the data which is collected for the employment growth, revenue, and the minimum number of required room is increases and decreases over the last 8 years is showed into that graphs. After running the regression analysis, a higher R square value, which is of 0.97, is indicating the strong statistical fit. But however, the individual independent variables were not statistically significant, as it reflected by high p-values. So the p-value, it should be less than 5%. So the employment, which is 14%, revenue 31%, and GSDP, Gujarat GSDP growth, which is 67%, which is a more than 5% of the p-value. So due to this lack of statistical reliability at the variable level, the iteration one was discarded. In the second regression model, by eliminating the GSDP growth of Gujarat and considering the factors like employment growth and the revenue growth of company, the performance improved significantly. This time, the p-value were under 5% and confirming the variables were statistically valid. The employee-based model showed an R-square value of 0.85, while the revenue-based model demonstrated near a perfect correlation with an R-square of 0.99. Together, the results confirm that the employment growth and the company's revenue increases, the demand for the guest house rooms will grow consistently over future years, and this validated model was selected for final forecasting, and the forecasted data is showed into the cluster column charts. In the financial analysis, the inflows have been calculated by considering the key assumptions. So the room revenue plays a major role and is based on the 570 rooms, operating days operating at 85% occupancy within the average room rate of 4,000 rupees per night. The rate is increases by 5% every year for matching the market growth. So the next inflow, which is the restaurant income from the dining services and the including all day dining kitchen and the special dining also. Both are calculated using the plate rates, seating capacity, and also the 70% base occupancy along with the yearly escalation. Now the event-based revenue is generated from the multipurpose hall and the conference rooms. The assumptions are based upon the expected events per month and the per plate pricing, and making this consistent source of recurring inflow. Of course, and the cafe is on the list. Lease and inflation factor of 5% are also included to strengthen the financial model. And also the graph on the right shows a clear upward revenue trend from 2028 to 2043. In the first year of restaurant contribute the highest share at 53%, followed by rooms at 40%, while conferences and the multipurpose hall has 5 and 2%. So the overall inflows, that the total inflow increases from 178 CR from 2028 to 469 CR to the 2043. This slide shows a more detailed breakdown of inflows from dining and event operations. For dining, there are the two categories: all-day dining and kitchen is priced at 2000 rupees per plate with a capacity of 1071 covers, and the specialty dining is priced at 2500 rupees per plate with a capacity of 278 covers. On the right side, the event-based inflows include the multipurpose hall and the conference rooms. The multipurpose hall operates at 1500 rupees per plate with a capacity of 460 guests. The conference rooms follow the same per plate rate with a capacity of 45 and 20 seats. Now we are looking at the graphs that the dining inflows graphs on the left shows a steady increase over the year. This growth is mainly driven by increasing the demand and yearly rise in plate rates. Similarly, the graph on the right shows the revenue growth from the multipurpose hall and conference rooms as the event and internal corporate meetings increases over the time. The inflows also rises consistently. This slide presents the outflows and the financial performance of the project from 2028 to 2043. The annual operating expenses are distributed across the six key departments, including the kitchen operational, food and beverages, housekeeping, finance, technical services, and general maintenance. Over the years, this expense is increasing gradually due to inflation. The total outflow rises from approximately 65.86 CR in 2028 to 117.78 CR in 2043, reflecting the consistent operational expenses. Also, the NPV, net present value, and internal rate of return is also calculated, and the project shows a positive net present value of 74.55 CR and internal rate of return is 13%, indicating a strong financial feasibility and favorable long-term returns. And also the sensitivity analysis, it highlights that how changes in the tariff rates and occupancy levels impact performances. And case 1 demonstrate that it highlights the highest returns, while the case 3 shows the reduced profit after tax and internal rate of return. So confirming that the project is most sensitive to pricing and occupancy variation. In the conclusion part, starting with the location analysis, Shantigram emerged as the most suitable site due to its well-planned development, strong infrastructure, and access to the essential services. The area offers a reliable connectivity and stable regulatory environment. Next, The demand analysis highlighted that the projected room usage is strongly driven by internal corporate activity rather than the external tourism. As the organization continues to grow, the internal need for accommodation increases, creating the consistent and predictable occupancy levels. Finally, the financial feasibility results indicates that the project is economically viable. The model demonstrates a positive NPV and IRR of 13%, supported by strong and diversified inflow streams such as room tariff, restaurants, and event facilities. Overall, the analysis concludes that the executive leadership guesthouse is feasible, strategically positioned, and financially sound development. Thank you.